Ladies and gents, today we're in a 2001 Honda S2000. That's the AP1 generation, owned by my good friend Jimmy. We've actually driven this car before. We compared it stock AP1 versus stock AP2, but now we have a few tasteful mods. Jimmy, what have you done to the car since?
Got Olin's road and track suspension. We've got Project Mu brake pads. We've got a K&N intake. We've got the seats, the steering wheel, and that's about it.
Nice. We're gonna see how she does on track. Oh, 9,000 RPM redline, baby! Oh yeah, these brakes are nice and grabby, super solid. Softer than I would expect. Oh, this launch or this Veloster guy is sketching me out a little bit. Tail-happy nature of the AP1 that we like, but it does feel a bit softer than expected. You gotta remember, these things don't have that much torque, so you really gotta rev them out. What brake fluid do you have? The brake pads are getting, it's a little soft. Yeah, let's cool this down. So overall, I'd say that the suspension needs to be a little bit stiffened up, because the front end isn't as sharp as what I recall in AP1 generally being like.
A lot of people have a square setup for better turning too.
Is this square setup or no?
No.
It's not?
No.
What are you running in the front?
I don't know the exact size off the top of my head. It's pretty conservative.
The Project Mu pads were feeling fine at the beginning, but the brake pedal's getting really soft, so we're gonna bring it in. I'm wondering if it's your brake fluid. We weren't going that crazy on the braking zones either, so. But yeah, it actually feels, I mean, my AP1 standard is very easy to control. It's pretty like, the body motions, because it's softer suspension, it's slower. You can kind of like see the oversteer happening in slow-mo and then correct it and such. But yeah, the front end isn't as sharp as I would like. The bucket seat's doing a lot to actually hold me in though, so that's like a nice welcome change.
Yeah.
And using these transmissions on track is always a pleasure.
I think like what makes this car as a more of a beginner is that it's harder actually because this car has one like a little bit funky dynamic, and two, you're operating it at the upper echelon of its like capabilities.
It's like slow car fast philosophy.
And I think like it's actually easier to learn how to track with a more powerful car and driving it at half of its like capability, because like the GT4 just makes you a better driver, like a fake better driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would actually.
This car, I feel like I would learn better, but it's more intense learning. It's like da 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 da, right? Like
Yeah, so this isn't as sharp and unforgiving as other S2000 examples I've driven. So the way it's set up isn't too unforgiving. But I'm a huge proponent of driving a slow car fast on track, because what you're doing is you're getting to the limit.
yeah.
And when you get to the limit, you're learning how to deal with oversteer, learn how to handle understeer, learn how to just handle the car overall when you're pushing it harder.
It's like an accelerated course versus taking like.
Yeah, but with the GT4, the issue there is that you're probably not getting close to the limit.
Yeah.
So you're going way faster, but the car has so much more to give. And if you're not actually learning how to handle understeer, oversteer, then your driver development is held back a little bit.
Yeah. But you have fun early on.
Yeah, that's true. I think this car is like actually really well set up for your use case.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty soft, it's pretty forgiving. When you do start giving way to slide, like you can feel it. The chassis is very communicative, so I can like feel it without, like at the very beginning, I can feel it even though the steering isn't the most communicative.
Yeah.
I can tell it's happening and then I can prepare.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to push this car hard. I'm concerned about the brakes more than anything right now, just because it got pretty soft.
Yeah.
But overall, man, this is a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to do it.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
One thing that also affects the handling balance is, of course, tire and section width. So we have 225 up front, 255 in the rear. So having a square setup, wider tires in the front to match what you have in the rear, does help with more grip in the front to make it feel a little bit sharper on turn-in. However, also these are Extreme Contact Sport 2 tires from Continental, which aren't the most track-aggressive compound, obviously. I still feel the main thing I would change is actually the suspension. It's a bit soft. When you're turning in, it kind of sets and then turns, and you don't have that initial bite that a lot of us really enjoy by having that sharp front end with the double wishbone suspension on the S2000.